Tom Selleck was born Thomas William Selleck on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan, into a modest working-class family shaped by the realities of post-war America. When his family later relocated to Sherman Oaks, California, young Tom grew up surrounded by the optimism and cultural change of Southern California in the 1950s and early 1960s. Sports, not acting, defined his early ambitions, particularly basketball, which gave him discipline, teamwork, and confidence. Those years instilled a grounded mindset that would later separate him from many Hollywood peers. Life wasn't glamorous or preordained. It was practical and effort-driven. Selleck learned early that success came from consistency rather than shortcuts. Though no one could have predicted his future stardom, those formative years quietly shaped the humility, work ethic, and emotional steadiness that would become hallmarks of both his career and personal life. College dreams and an unexpected turn. Selleck attended the University of Southern California on a basketball scholarship, studying business administration with every intention of pursuing a conventional career. Acting was not part of the plan. Fate intervened when a drama coach noticed his presence and encouraged him to explore acting classes. Initially skeptical, Selleck approached performance the same way he approached sports, with discipline rather than ego. Commercial work followed, including now iconic Pepsi ads in the 1960s, giving him early exposure to cameras and sets. What began as curiosity slowly evolved into purpose. Acting allowed him to combine intellect, instinct, and physicality in a way that felt surprisingly natural. Still, success did not come quickly. Selleck remained patient, understanding that progress, like athletics, required repetition and resilience. Those college years became the bridge between who he thought he would be and who he was becoming. Learning the craft the hard way. The early years of Selleck's acting career were defined by persistence rather than recognition. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, he appeared in small television roles, including game shows and guest appearances on popular series. These roles were rarely glamorous, but they were essential. Each set became a classroom, each script a lesson. He observed seasoned actors, absorbed direction, and refined his instincts. Rejection was frequent, but Selleck never treated it as personal failure. Instead, he viewed it as part of the profession's rhythm. Networking happened organically, not strategically, and relationships formed through shared work rather than ambition. One of those relationships would prove transformative. During this period, Selleck crossed paths with James Garner, a figure he deeply admired long before they met. That connection would later become one of the most meaningful influences of his life. The missed roles that built character. Like many actors, Selleck experienced near misses that could have altered his career dramatically. Perhaps the most famous was his consideration for the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. While producers admired him, his contractual commitment to a new television series made the role impossible. Rather than harbor resentment, Selleck accepted the outcome with perspective. He understood that success was rarely about singular moments, but about long-term consistency. These missed opportunities strengthened his belief in patience over panic. Instead of chasing what slipped away, he focused on what was in front of him. That mindset prevented bitterness and preserved gratitude. In hindsight, those decisions protected the balance in his life. They also positioned him perfectly for the role that would define a generation and establish his place in television history. Becoming Thomas Magnum. In 1980, Selleck landed the role of Thomas Magnum in Magnum P.I., a performance that transformed him into a household name. Set against the vibrant backdrop of Hawaii, the series blended action, humor, and emotional depth. Selleck's portrayal was effortlessly charismatic yet grounded, offering audiences a hero who felt human rather than untouchable. His mustache, casual confidence, and underlying vulnerability became iconic. The show's success wasn't just commercial, it resonated emotionally. Viewers connected to Magnum's loyalty, humor, and moral compass. Over 8 seasons, Selleck earned both an Emmy and a Golden Globe. But more importantly, he earned trust. He never played the role larger than life. Instead, he played it honestly, allowing warmth and imperfection to coexist with strength. That authenticity cemented Magnum as one of television's most enduring characters. Expanding beyond television. Refusing to be defined by a single role, Selleck transitioned into film during the 1980s and 1990s with impressive range. In 3 Men and a Baby, he revealed a gift for comedy that surprised audiences and critics alike, contributing to one of the decade's biggest box office successes. Westerns such as Quigley Down Under allowed him to explore his love for classic American storytelling, where restraint and moral clarity mattered more than spectacle. These roles deepened his reputation as a versatile actor rather than a television star chasing relevance. Selleck chose projects thoughtfully, prioritizing character over hype. His performances carried maturity and confidence, reflecting a man comfortable with who he was. Rather than reinventing himself to chase trends, he expanded naturally, letting his career evolve with age and experience. Reinvention through longevity. In 2010, Selleck found renewed cultural relevance as Frank Reagan on CBS's Blue Bloods. As the patriarch of a multi-generational law enforcement family, he brought authority tempered by empathy. The role resonated because it felt lived in, shaped by decades of experience both on screen and off. Selleck portrayed leadership not as dominance, but as responsibility. Week after week, his performance emphasized integrity, restraint, and moral reflection. The show's longevity speaks not just to its premise, but to the trust Selleck brings to the screen. He doesn't demand attention, he commands it quietly. Blue Bloods became more than another chapter. It became a testament to endurance. At an age when many actors fade from relevance, Selleck proved that depth, consistency, and authenticity age better than fame. Life on the ranch. Choosing peace over prestige, the Selleck family settled on a ranch in Ventura County, California, once owned by Dean Martin. There, Selleck embraced a life defined by physical work and routine rather than red carpets. Maintaining the property became a source of satisfaction, grounding him in tangible effort. In interviews, he has joked that ranch labor beats the gym, not just physically but mentally. The land offers solitude, responsibility, and perspective. It reminds him that identity is not tied to applause. For Selleck, the ranch symbolizes intentional living, choosing substance over spectacle. It is where he reflects, reconnects, and remains himself. Hollywood may define careers, but the ranch defines balance. That choice has preserved his longevity and allowed him to approach his work with clarity rather than exhaustion. James Garner. The early admiration. Long before they worked together, Selleck admired James Garner from afar. Watching Maverick as a young man, he saw something rare, an actor who balanced toughness with humor and authority with kindness. Garner didn't perform masculinity, he embodied it naturally. To Selleck, that authenticity stood out in an industry often driven by ego. Garner represented professionalism without pretense. When Selleck later found himself working alongside him, that admiration only deepened. Rather than disappointment, he found generosity. Garner treated everyone equally, regardless of status, reinforcing values Selleck already believed in. Their connection was not built on competition, but mutual respect. Garner became proof that one could succeed without losing decency. That realization shaped how Selleck approached both fame and leadership for the rest of his career. Lessons beyond acting. Working with Garner taught Selleck lessons that extended far beyond performance. Garner spoke candidly about fame's dangers, ego, entitlement, and isolation. He emphasized the importance of integrity, reminding Selleck that careers fade, but character remains. These conversations stayed with him. When faced with choices between exposure and family, Selleck remembered Garner's example. He learned that saying no can be as powerful as saying yes. Garner also demonstrated how humor could diffuse pressure and how kindness could command respect. These weren't abstract ideas, they were lived behaviors. Selleck absorbed them quietly, applying them over decades. As pressures mounted during Magnum PI, Garner's guidance helped him navigate success without losing perspective. Those lessons became the foundation of Selleck's personal code, shaping how he worked, led, and lived. Reflection at 80. At 80, Selleck finally speaks openly about how deeply James Garner shaped his life. Time has given him clarity and gratitude. He no longer worries about saying the wrong thing, only about honoring the truth. Garner wasn't just a mentor, he was a mirror, showing Selleck the kind of man he hoped to become. Their friendship was rooted in humor, humility, and shared understanding. Looking back, Selleck sees his own legacy as intertwined with Garner's influence. The choices he made, to prioritize family, maintain integrity, and avoid excess, were guided by that example. Speaking now feels less like confession and more like acknowledgement. As Selleck reflects, he doesn't claim perfection, only effort. And in that honesty, he offers the truest tribute, a life still shaped by the standard James Garner set.